we saw how brain is a part of our central nervous system, which is extremely important for the coordinating purpose. Now, talking in terms of what is the last thing you people have written, students? Like, what is the last line?
Ma'am, the brain is protected inside the brain.
Okay. So, like I told you, that brain is one of the components of the central nervous system. It's the center for coordination of our whole entire body, meaning nothing in our body gets done without the brain's permission. Now, the brain is one of the most important organ of our body, and protecting it is one of the most, you can say, crucial thing, because if the brain gets damaged, then all the different things that happens in the body, that gets hampered. So for that, for the ultimate protection of the brain is protected inside this cranium, which is called as the brain box, which is a part of the skull. Now, brain is the main coordinating center of the body, and apart from being present in a brain like box, the brain is also surrounded by three layers. Okay, three layers of membrane, and we call those layers in general as meninges. Now, what happens is that the brain is covered with meninges, which are three types: dura mater, arachnoid, and pia mater. Three layers are there. Okay, so if this is dura mater, this is arachnoid, and this is pia mater. So in between each of the layers, there is the presence of some fluid, and the name of that fluid is cerebrospinal fluid. Now, what does this fluid do? Basically, this fluid is responsible for the protection of the brain and the spinal cord from any kind of shock, from any kind of injury. So that is why the fluid is there to give the brain proper protection from the shock or any injury. Now, on an average, amongst in every individual, the brain would weigh around 1.5 kg. Now, talking about the different parts of the brain. So, anatomically, the brain has been divided into three major parts. The first is the forebrain, then there is the midbrain, and lastly, there is the hindbrain. So, when we talk about the forebrain, so all of the, you can say, like the main part of the human brain which is involved in the thinking process, in making us who we are, and all of those things, that is our forebrain. When we talk about our forebrain, so we know that it has been divided into further three parts, that is cerebrum, which is the largest part of the human brain, then hypothalamus and thalamus. Three things are there, amongst which the forebrain, then you can say the parts of the forebrain are. When we talk about the cerebrum, so this is that part of the brain which is responsible for reasoning. It is responsible for logic, for emotions, for like the way I'm speaking, the way you people speak. So our speech formation, memory, visual, like the things that you see, your brain makes you understand what you're looking at, again, because of the cerebrum. Then processing, recognition, auditory, like we can hear things and noises and stuff, we can understand. And even for the taste as well. So cerebrum is the part that is responsible for a huge chunk of portions that you can say, we do on a day-to-day life. So that is the main function of the cerebrum. Then talking about the hypothalamus, so this is an endocrine gland. Endocrine glands, it will be secreting some sort of hormone to coordinate us and our, you can say, the well-being and different activities it will, you can say, have a part or a role in. So now you see this is the picture of a human brain, wherein you see the cranium is the outermost brain box, the skull part is there which protects the human brain. Now do you see these lines? Apart from the cranium, do you see these lines, these ones? These are what I call the meninges, right? The arachnoid, the dura mater, pia mater, and this part is filled with the cerebrospinal fluid that protects the brain from any kind of shock and injury. Now, if you see in this whole entire brain structure, this whole curvy lines that you see right in the middle, these curvy lines, all of this comprises the cerebrum. Now, imagine how the cerebrum controls the majority of the thing because it is having the majority of the space in the brain. And at the base of the cerebrum, there is the presence of this endocrine gland called as the hypothalamus, which secretes certain hormones that are very important in our body. So when we talk about the forebrain, so it is the most complex or specialized part of the brain. It consists, the main thing, that is the cerebrum. What is the function of the forebrain? It is the main thinking part of the brain. Then it controls the voluntary actions. It stores all sort of information like the good memories, the bad memories, then the memories from the education, right? Like the things that you study, that also gets stored in the cerebrum itself. It receives impulses from the various parts of the body and integrate it. And it is the center that is associated with the hunger. Again, if you feel hungry, so forebrain is the part that helps you understand that you are hungry. Is it clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, let us see here. So the forebrain, it is a bigger part of the brain. It helps in the major work in our body. What are the parts? First part is the cerebrum, which we discussed. So this is the thinking center of the brain, and it is divided into right side and the left hand side. So here it is divided into right and the left side, that is the hemisphere. It controls the memory, it controls the problem solving, decision making, emotions, voluntary movements. So now under the memory, it will help you to remember your lessons. It will help you to remember everyone's name, then address and stuff. That is all the function of your cerebrum. Decision making, like how you choose what is right, what is wrong, which dress to wear, where to go. These are all again the functions of the cerebrum. Then problem solving. Problem solving, like how you people solve math problem, physics problem, then different life problems as well. Emotions like making you happy, making you sad, excited, all of these are the emotions associated with the cerebrum itself. Voluntary movements like dancing, writing, playing sports, right? Speaking, then moving your hands, walking, sitting, all of the things that are under your control, they are the cerebrum part functions. Then when we talk about the hypothalamus, it is the second part. And what it does is that it controls the body, you can say whole entire temperature, hunger, thirst, sleeping and waking up cycle, mood changes. So that is the function of the hypothalamus, which you should remember that it is an endocrine gland. So it will do its functions accordingly. So this forebrain is clear to you, students?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Does anyone have any doubts in the forebrain portion? Anything you want to ask? No?
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay. All right. You write the forebrain part, then we'll move on to the midbrain.
Ma'am, can you scroll?
Yes, both of you are done, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Done, ma'am.
Both of you are done, students?
Yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Both of you are done, students?
Yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Okay, any doubts up until now, Neha?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, any doubts up until now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now see, let's move on to the next part of the human brain, that is the midbrain. Now see, the midbrain sort of acts like a connection in between the forebrain and the hindbrain. It's like a connection, it's like a bridge in between that. So the midbrain forms the connection between the forebrain and the hindbrain. It acts like a bridge and it transmits the signal from the forebrain to the hindbrain. So it's acting like a mediator, it's acting like a middle portion wherein whatever impulse that has to be sent from the forebrain to the hindbrain gets sent because of this particular midbrain. So midbrain, it is responsible for controlling our motor skills, the vision, the hearing, temperature regulation, and it makes us alert. Okay, so now the midbrain and the hindbrain together, they are responsible for, controlling all the involuntary actions of our body, meaning all those actions that are not under our control at all. They are done by the midbrain and the hindbrain. So when we talk about the midbrain, it controls the involuntary actions such as change in pupil size, reflex movement of head, neck, and the trunk of the body. So all the reflex action, the reflex movement, that is controlled by the midbrain. Now, when we talk about the midbrain, see here. The midbrain sits in the middle of our head, connecting the top and the bottom parts of the brain. It helps in quick responses. Okay, it helps our eyes following the moving objects. Like you can see the objects that are moving clearly and you can see them moving. It's because of the presence of the midbrain. It makes our heads, like it makes us turn our heads whenever we hear a loud noise. So like from wherever the noise is coming from, we understand and we move our head or we get alert towards that noise, the direction. That is again because of the midbrain. Lastly, it also helps us to stay balanced when we walk. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts?
No.
Okay. Now see. After the midbrain, we have to discuss about the hindbrain. Now the medulla, pons, and the hindbrain is like the part which comes at the base of the brain, and so medulla, pons, and the cerebellum. Three parts of the hindbrain are there. The medulla region of the brain, it is responsible for controlling most of our involuntary activities like our blood pressure, salivation, then whenever we feel the need to vomit, that is controlled by the medulla portion of our hindbrain. Now, in our hindbrain, there is a part which is called as the cerebellum. It's like the little version of a cerebrum, and it is very, very important for balancing and posture. So we can stand up straight, we can sit up straight, we can walk straight, right? We can, keep our balance while dancing. So that is because of the cerebellum portion of our hindbrain. So when we talk about our hindbrain, so it has three parts. The cerebellum, which is controlling the posture and the balance, precision of voluntary action, right? Like how you can write properly, you can draw things, right? You can color in between the lines. Why? Because your cerebellum is very well developed and it helps to give you precision in all your voluntary actions. Okay, because if you think about a baby can also use a pen, pick up a pen and then start scribbling here and there. But the baby doesn't have precision to do the work. For example, if I ask you to pour milk in a glass, so you will be doing it properly without spillage, right? But if I ask you to, like if I ask a younger kid or a baby to do it, maybe the baby would understand that, okay, I have to pick the bottle of the milk, pour it into the glass, but will the baby stop? The baby won't stop. It will keep on flowing it until the bottle is empty, right? And then it will drop here and there. So that precision that comes in the voluntary actions, that is because of the cerebellum. Then the medulla is again responsible for controlling the involuntary action like the blood pressure, salivation, and vomiting. Lastly, the pons, they basically control the involuntary action and regulate our respiration, like how if we are breathing faster or slower, that is regulated by the pons. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, lastly, let us see this. The hindbrain sits at the base of our brain near our neck. It manages the balance, posture, and essential functions like heart rate and breathing. It has three parts that work together as a unit. Cerebellum looks like a small wrinkled ball. It keeps us balanced when we walk or run. It makes us, the movement smooth. It makes it precise. And it helps the pawn to act like a bridge. When we talk about the pawn, it is a round bulge on the brain stem, like at the base of the brain, and it is located above the medulla and below the midbrain. So when the midbrain ends, the pons region is there, and then comes the medulla part of the hind. And it acts like a band of nerve, and it connects the different parts of the brain. It makes sure we breathe the right way, it helps us sleep peacefully, and it controls our facial expressions. Lastly, there is the medulla portion of the brain, which is the lowest part of the brain stem. And finally, this is the part that will connect the brain to the spinal cord. So right here at the end of the head. Okay. Now it is a cone-like shape and it contains the vital control center for the basic life function. So it keeps our heart beating, makes sure that we keep on breathing while we are sleeping. Also, we breathe, right? We don't forget breathing when we are sleeping. So that's because of medulla. And it helps us to swallow our food, learn physical skills like riding a bike, playing a musical instrument. All of that is because of medulla. So these were all the different parts of the human brain. Now tell me if there's any doubts anywhere.
No, ma'am, no doubts.
No doubts. Anything you want me to repeat?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So the last thing you've written is about the hypothalamus, right? Then you start from the mid.
Okay. Done, ma'am. Done.
Yes.
Done, ma'am.
Okay.
Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Done, students? Done till here?
No,
Okay.
no, ma'am.